Now, every Sunday morning that she was there, and she was there most Sundays, not every, but most, she would wave at me. And I would just like that. And it was off. Oh, if there was any buzzing in the morning service, it was just like that. And it was off. What is going through the mind of people who sit around an elderly woman like that and let the hearing aid buzz? You could hear it unless your hearing aid was off. Why would you sit there? Now think about this, because some of you would sit there, and maybe me too. I have the excuse that I was all the way on the other side of the church when I used to hear this, and it was kind of faint because I was a good 100 feet away from her. People would sit there. No reaching out. Some of these people knew her for years and years. Is it because making a disturbance like you would if you had to get up and talk to her isn't done in church? Now, how would you feel if your close friends, your church friends, would allow you to be embarrassing in a church service and they wouldn't say anything to you? I would be livid if somebody didn't say, every Sunday morning, or said months later, every Sunday morning before you got that new hearing aid, you were buzzing all the time. Everybody was wondering what was going on. What would your response be? Mine would be, and you didn't tell me? What the heck is wrong with you? It's funny that the engagement and the eyes wide open that's available to us so often gets shut down. And we pretend we didn't see. And quite frankly, you also have to pretend you don't care, don't you? Because you do care. People cared about that lady. She's a wonderful and well-respected lady with a rich and lovely past. See, this eyes wide open to life is what the John the Baptist story is all about. I think that's why there's all these strange images, and the way he talks seems so strange to us. It doesn't resonate with us at all. But it was meant to be something that was very different looking, a very new experience. He came to announce something that was spectacular into the world. He came to introduce the idea of Jesus. The person too, but the idea of Jesus to the world. A new idea for living as a human being, totally different. A vulnerable human being, a human being who reached out, a human being who would forgive and allow people to be healed and forgive them and teach them how to forgive one another. This was all very new, and still new to some of us, because each one of us, every one of us in this room, has a portion of our life where we are locked in. And other people may talk to us about it and say, you really all ought to let up. Sometimes it's in family relationships. There's a person in our family, your family, that we are not going to talk to. We are not going to open up to this person. We are closed down. Now, there's sometimes very rough and difficult times in each family. But with eyes wide open, first of all, you see yourself in a different way. And that has a lot to do with changing what goes on in a family. No, we can't reach in and change another person like it was a computer module. But we can change ourselves and the way we think about things. In verse 15, we are told the people were filled with expectation. Now, when you're filled with expectation, what do you look like? Or do you look, something's going to happen, boy. Your eyes open up. What's going to happen here? What can I possibly expect? It's not that we know what's going to happen. But we expect something, and we know what that will feel like, and it is energizing to us. And by that, expecting the future, expecting something happen, I'm not talking about rehearsing the future, which most of us are pretty good at. I'm very good at rehearsing the future. Oh boy, I've got this pain in my hip. You know what that means? Pretty soon I won't be able to play softball anymore. Then I'll have to have a hip replacement, and then something could go wrong in the hip replacement, and I'll be on a crutch the whole rest of my life, and it won't be long before I'll be in a wheelchair. And then when I'm in a wheelchair, how am I going to do anything in church? Because I can't get up to a pulpit, I can't get to stand, blah, blah, blah. This is rehearsing the future. Like the script is already there. And people, some of you are nodding, and some of you do that. Some of you are married to somebody who does that. Boy, is that annoying, isn't it? Oh, it's going downhill fast. Oh, man, I can see it now. It's going to be terrible. Rehearsing the future. It's amazing. Let's take the low road. Let's aim low. What is it to say? There's some old saying about, what does it mean when you aim low and miss? You know, we always say aim high, even if you miss. Aim high. There's an expectation, but it doesn't give us pure knowledge about something. It opens our eyes to hope, to good possibilities. Jesus came to baptism to act out a reality that you and I desperately need if we are to be faithful people. He acted out this reality because we need it too. And that is, if we don't have this reality in our lives, we can't live like faithful people in a world as difficult as this world is. The reality is that Jesus is one of us. See, it would change everything if Jesus came to John and saw all these people being baptized, and Jesus said, boy, I'm glad I don't need that. John even tried to talk him out of it. And Jesus says, no, I need to be baptized too.